The change, therefore, is sort of bittersweet. On the one hand, it's difficult to think about the old main going, but on the other hand, the building really needed to be replaced because there are so many issues with that structure. A structure that in its day, no doubt, was just a premier structure and could house so many different children, and it was a different world where children were housed in 25 children to a room, where today we wouldn't think of doing that. But that's the way it was in the orphanage days. And there are lives that people come back and say they've succeeded and they've done different things, and they remember their days there and how good they were and how safe they felt, which is very important to us.
One of my special memories is our Christmas cantatas in the chapel. Our choir would do like the Christmas story through song and some acting, and different residents would be part of that program. And one of the special participants was our donkey, our miniature donkey Taco, who lives at the barn. And he would come, kind of escort Mary and Joseph down the aisle, and then not really want to leave the chapel when it's time for him to go out the side door. It's like he wanted to stay. But I've always brought a lot of surprise and laughter and made the Christmas cantata extra special in the chapel. And so much of the Christian story and biblical stories about that. It's over and over about endings and new beginnings, about loss and new life. Even the Christian story of Jesus' death on the cross and then Easter and resurrection and new beginnings, new life. And so certainly we're kind of in the midst of that. We're saying goodbye to that building and all those special memories. But then I've seen the drawings of the architect for the new community center and the new chapel, and so I'm getting excited about that and new beginnings with that. I think that's going to be a beautiful space.
Old Main has been in existence since 1890, which is a very long time in the history of this organization, and it has seen many orphans go through there. Many lives have been changed. In our chapel, there have been children who have been baptized. There have been songs that have been sung. There have been prayers that have been said for our families that have come through. So it is such a rich history. The history there used to be days when congregations would bring in supplies and they would kind of circle around the old main, and they would bring in foodstuffs for our dining hall, which was located in that building at that time. In the basement of that building, there was old stone ovens where people used to come in early in the morning and heat it up down below with coal and wood and fire it up so they could bake bread for the day for the kids. So there's just so much history there. Over the years, it has become many different things, actually. We had a program in there that was a shelter program where children in transition could come and stay. We had program upstairs, which was a partial program, a hospital program for children with mental health issues that needed some additional support. In addition to our dining hall, we then converted it into a training center, and a number of the rooms were used for ongoing training of our staff, as well as our chapel. And people have come back and said to me, you know, I was here as an orphan in 1935, and this chapel is exactly the way it was back then. So there's been so much history there.
I think of those hot summer nights where we would go out at dusk and sit outside and look up at the third floor and watch hundreds of bats flying out of the building, and they lived inside the building, you know. Going around to the back of the building into the basement, where there was in a musty old basement down there, we had a game room down there where we played pool and ping pong, and the boys and girls just enjoyed the activities down in there. Let alone the dining hall was on the first floor, and the chapel. So the building had a lot of use and a lot of purpose, and helped a lot of people along the way. Yes, it is sad to see buildings and things leaving us here. But in a spirit of change and growth and continuing advance, we're helping so many more people. And so that's really a positive thing.
If there would be no change, there would be no butterflies. I think that's about the resurrection story and about new beginnings. God says, I'm doing a new thing. I think God is in the midst of us, in the midst of all the change, and doing a new thing, and it's going to be great. So it is certainly a loss. It's saying goodbye to a place that has been very significant for me personally for 12 and a half years, almost 13, but for this agency for over 100 years.
The change in the Old Main means we're moving on to something new, and that's good, but we're still doing what we've done for many, many years, and that is really impacting the lives of children and families in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, trying to make the world for them a better place.